The Stargazer X. It's Hyundai's bid to make a top-spec version of its MPV that's somehow different from the supposedly standard model. Much like how Mitsubishi has the Expander and the Expander Cross. At least you can easily tell the Avanza and the Veloz apart, right? Forgive me for being a bit skeptical, but it's just that I think the regular Stargazer was enough. Lest we forget, it did win our 4-way mega test a while back, and against top-of-the-line rivals at that. What was the point of adding another trim level above the already existing range? That was the mindset that I had as I joined Hyundai Motor Philippines, HMPH Media Drive featuring the Stargazer X. I ponder on these things as I make my way to Makati to drive the new MPV all the way up north to Clark, Pampanga. It's a quick 2-day getaway, and despite my doubts, I'm sure this should be fun. After a sumptuous breakfast, we're finally given our car assignments. There's only one variant of the Stargazer X available, so all 4 units available are mechanically the same. The only differences are in color. There are 2 in magnetic silver metallic, 1 in dragon red pearl, and the other in creamy white pearl. We get the white one, which is good because I think it's the nicest looking one in the bunch. To my surprise, all of my other car mates rushed to the back seat, happy enough to let either me or Top Gear Philippines associate editor Xiang Banzan take the wheel. Since Xiang's on video duties today, then I have to be the first one to drive. That works in my favor because I've actually never driven the Stargazer before, save for a few parallel parking jobs we did during our big test. The Stargazer X does quick work of traffic heading into the expressway, and before I know it, we're already on Skyway Stage 3. We're not able to stretch the MPV's legs yet because of the 60 km/h speed limit, but it's all well and good because this thing's got cruise control. It's not adaptive, but the Stargazer X does come with forward collision warning to go along with slightly aggressive, lane keeping and lane follow assist, and blind spot monitoring for added safety on highway cruises such as this one. The moment we reach the North Luzon Expressway, I get to speed up and go heavier on the pedal by a bit. As I had already witnessed in our previous comparo, this thing packs a punch, and it's the same with the Stargazer X. That 113 horsepower, 144 Nm 1.5-liter naturally aspirated gasoline engine is quite responsive, and it's pretty fun to drive with that patented intelligent variable transmission. The driving dynamics are different when you're driving typical CVT. There's plenty of oomph to go around, and overtaking to chase the convoy ahead of us is quick and easy, and that's with 5 people and some cargo in the back, mind you. As we go further along the expressway, I point out something I noticed from the get-go. The dashboard. The layout is the same, but the material is new. Hyundai has opted for a gloss black finish on the panel that houses the instrument cluster and the infotainment system, and it looks so much better now. Even the plastic trim surrounding the AC controls have been given the same gloss black treatment. It gives the interior a classier vibe to it, and it makes for a much more pleasant time inside the cabin. Speaking of a pleasant time, I also notice one of my passengers, Auto Industria's Jamil Lacuna, fast asleep in the second row. For whatever reason, he and the 2 other passengers, TurboZone's Van Bomediano and Autocar's John Ray San Diego, decided to squeeze themselves there despite the third row being available. Surprisingly, they fit just fine, and Jamil's lengthy nap is proof of comfort in the back. To be fair, it is very comfortable inside the Stargazer X. Again, this was my first time on a proper ride inside any Stargazer model, and I have to say the MPV just eats up road imperfections with ease. Road and outside noise is suppressed, keeping NVH levels to a minimum. No wonder people were falling asleep in the back. We eventually exit via San Simon, Pampanga. Now I know I said Clark, but we have a stopover first at the Pampanga Pottery in Santo Tomas where HMPH prepared an activity for us. Boy, I hope we're making some clay pots today. After a short drive through the highway, we turn towards some narrow service roads which should be just a few minutes away from the pottery. Typical back roads in the province. Tight, somewhat busy with vehicles parked on the side of the road. Nothing too hard with the Stargazer X though, as the MPV's steering is incredibly light, making it easy to maneuver tight spaces. But that's not the end of the road hazards though. There's also a sizable puddle just before we enter the vicinity of the Pampanga Pottery. It's almost as if HMPH set this all up just to showcase the Stargazer X's improved ground clearance. It's listed at 200 mm, or 15 mm more than that of the standard Stargazer. True enough, it makes driving through floods like this less worrisome.